Hey everybody, can you hear me? Me being me. Okay, yeah, it sounds like my mic is working. Beautiful. Mute that again. Okay, so today I'm doing the New York Times News Quizzes, which I think are really fun. I did last week's already, so I'll just skip that one because I cheated by doing it early. But I'll do today's. Yeah, that's today. Okay, let's get rolling. Okay, so yeah, they put out these news quizzes trying to get people more engaged and like see how much they pay attention to the news. I think this one's gonna be a little rough for me this week because I usually like have a bunch of publications that I get the newsletters for every morning, and this week has just been really hectic, so I've ignored like a few days. So I might not be quite sharp this week. Not that I like usually am, but I feel even less prepared. Okay. Question number 1. Security footage from the January 6th riot, newly released during this week's impeachment trial, showed 2 senators running through the halls of the Capitol to escape the mob. Let me make sure that my little graphic, it doesn't cover the answers. It was, I know it was Mitt Romney. I don't know about the others. Let's see how much that covers. My face covers that. Okay. I know it was Mitt Romney. I want to guess that it was Chuck Schumer, but Claire McCaskill is like a weird one to throw in there, so I feel like it might have been her. Oh God, do I just do it? I wish Harper was here. I'm gonna text her real quick and tell her to watch and comment for me. Okay, I'm gonna guess that it's. Okay, I'm nervous. Okay, because I know like Ted Cruz, John Ossoff, and Chuck Schumer have all been in the news really recently for a lot of different reasons. So I feel like it's like not necessarily one of them. Which makes me think it was Claire McCaskill. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Chuck Schumer. Let's see. Oh my God. Okay. I told him that one a little bit much, huh? Okay. Correct. The footage, which we can watch if we want to, I don't know that I need to, showed Romney and Schumer running. McCaskill, who resident of Missouri for 12 years, is no longer a senator. I should know that. Like, I'm from Missouri. And then Ossoff had not yet been sworn in. Okay. Cruz is a current senator who some of the writers praised. That makes sense. Because he was actively like tweeting in favor of the writers, so I feel like he wouldn't have done that if he was also running. I don't know. Hard to say. Okay. One of the House impeachment managers did not vote to impeach former President Donald Trump Jr. Who was it? Oh God, House impeachment managers. Wasn't Jonah Goose. It might have been Raskin. I've never heard of this person. I also haven't heard of this person. And I know Jonah, like I bet him he's not Trumpy in the slightest. So I want to guess that it was Jimmy Raskin. Oh, damn it. Stacey Plaskett as non-voting delegate from a That is so tricky. I'm angry about this one. And so we're 54%. So we're more than 22,000 people. So since the delegate could not vote, Stacey Plaskett of the Virgin Islands was unable to cast a vote on Trump's impeachment. She is the first delegate to be an impeachment manager, worked in the Justice Department under George W. Bush, and decades ago studied law under Jamie Raskin, the lead impeachment manager. I feel like it's embarrassing that I said this because I think that this person has a very different role in the impeachment proceedings than I thought, but we'll just scroll up quickly. Which 2 countries' spacecraft arrived at Mars this week? This is what I get for not reading my newsletters. This is what I get for not paying attention. Okay. I want to say, oh my God, I don't know. The United States did not have one that made it to Mars this week. I feel like I would have heard about that, even if I wasn't as good about reading the news. Oh my god. Anyone? Bueller? Who's watching this? Can I even look at my phone? I can't. Okay, I'm just gonna guess. Oh, I want to say it's India and China. Oh, okay. So, a United Arab Emirates probe, HOPE, began orbiting Mars on Tuesday. A day later, China's Tianwen-1 spacecraft did so too, as well. Next week, NASA's newest rover, Perseverance, will head directly to Mars' surface. I did hear about the rovers, but I didn't think it had landed. That's what I thought too, Harper. The image above is from the China National Space Administration via Reuters. We think Nick Shep, a reader who inspired this question. That's cool. So it's probably not something they've been covering. Again, indicated by the lack of people who got this right. And maybe they should be covering that. I want to know who's on Mars right now. Okay. What percentage of Americans have received at least one vaccine shot? I believe it's more than 5%. I want to say it's close to 10, but is that... And I looked at data just last week that was like who received 2 shots, and that was really low. But I think the people who've received 1 is pretty high. She thinks 10. Let's see if she's right. Yeah, awesome. Okay. As of Thursday, about 10% of Americans had received 1 vaccine shot, and about 3% were fully vaccinated. Okay, that's higher than, I guess it's been a better week, because last week it was like still below 2. Fact check me. In the chart below, you can see how U.S. vaccination campaign got off to a bad start, but sped up in the Trump administration's final weeks and accelerated further during the Biden administration. This is the thing that I think I saw. It was like a John Hopkins tracker. Yeah, I remember they had that one really good day. That was a big deal. But then a lot of people were like, they're not going to be able to keep doing that. So we'll see. I obviously hope they can. Again. Beautiful. Okay. This quiz is harder. I feel like most of the questions are like at least 60% people get them right. Or that's what I'm just saying to make myself feel better. Okay. The CDC said this week that doing which of the following could reduce transmission up to 96.5%. That would be wearing 2 masks. Yeah, I didn't know that it was like the surgical mask thing. Should we watch the animation? I don't think I want to. Pete Buttigieg and husband Jason Buttigieg wore double masks at the inauguration. Okay. Because I know that the whole thing with masks is that like it's about like preventing yourself from spreading things. And so I wonder if maybe this is something that, oh jeez, everyone knows this one. This also helps you prevent transmission, but I also thought the surgical masks were supposed to be like pretty spot on regardless. I'm curious about this one. I want to hear like more. I want to see more cute animations on Instagram about this one to help me understand that. The Labor Department released a new job report on Friday, which of the following lines shows the path of employment over the past year. So this is the cumulative change in all jobs since before the pandemic. And so some like these lines were made up besides one, right? How would I like know the data as well? I want to say it's C because this is a little cheap, but it like makes the most sense with how the line looks. Like these are all like this, and C is the one that kind of looks like it's more generally. C or D are the more obvious ones to me. What do we think? I'm just gonna say C. Okay, I was right, kind of. It was my second choice. It stalled in the last couple of months as the fall surge of the virus has slowed many forms of economic activity. There's very little to celebrate at this point in this report, said Julia Polak, a labor economist for the employment site ZipRecruiter, who's, as we've all heard on every podcast. Almost every measure that I was hoping would point in the right direction disappointed. I listened to something or maybe read something interesting about how like economic predictions for the past 20 years have always been more optimistic than they were meant to be. Like consistently between like the dot-com bubble bursting and the 2008 financial crisis and this, they're always more optimistic. And I want to read more about that, like why that's happening and what the effect it has on. Is it like, I feel like with the pandemic, there's been a lot of reporting that I think is kind of like risky and a little patronizing, where they tell worse news than is maybe reality, or things about like precautions, etc., in order to get people to be more careful. And I understand the mentality behind that, but I do think that like patronizing news watchers with like, even if it's like well-meaning, but like misinformation is kind of risky, because then if they find out it's not true and it can be more reckless or like a little bit more loosey-goosey, they will internalize that and think that about everything that comes out. Like people who are reading this, they'll be like, well, last time they said this, you know, it turned out it wasn't true. And there was something I read about how like there's a lot of debate about how to talk about what can happen after the vaccination. And early on, people kept saying like we should keep doing everything after you get vaccinated. Like don't do anything, all these things, because that 5% chance that you spread the disease. And I understand that, and I think it does make sense. But then I want to say it was Fauci at like a Wash U conference that I watched with my dad, talked about how like we maybe shouldn't, like, it's not necessarily true that like that's what they recommend and what the fact checking recommends, like what the facts are. And so if you keep telling people like things aren't necessarily true, even if it's supposed to be in their best interest, it's risky because they might not believe you either. Harper's text coming up on this. We're planning to do a elaborate cooking thing tonight. And it might be a little bit above our pay grade in terms of cooking. But yeah, and so I wonder with economic job growth, where there's this little bit of like manifesting that they're trying to do, where they want to say it will get better so that people feel more calm and spend more money. Like, do you think maybe that's why they predict it to be better? Because I feel like most of the time predictions, people who do data and science, and I think especially in healthcare, definitely do conservative estimates. So it's weird that like these estimates have been wrong in an optimistic way. And I'm curious if there's like some psychology behind that. I have no idea. Someone educate me, please. I need to be educated. Number 7, what's happening in this photo? Well, there is like someone who looks kind of like Jesus. There's a fire. I get like desert island situations. I feel like if it was NASA, they wouldn't, I can't really tell, but I don't think they'd be shirtless. This makes the most sense to me. The Coast Guard is rescuing 3 people stranded on an island in the Bahamas. Disney's filming Lost again, a reboot of Lost. I feel like I would have heard about that, and that's really funny. That sounds like a joke. Like, Lost again is pretty hilarious. I feel like that's not true. This already happened. The team of hikers. This isn't like, I mean, it kind of looks like Nepal, but again, I don't think that the person would be shirtless. That doesn't sound right. Protesters are refusing to leave a section of Guantanamo Bay until the U.S. military does. Okay, I think it's got to be either protesters or the Coast Guard rescuing 3 people stranded on an island. But this feels like too obvious. Like, I feel like it's a trick question, because to me it obviously looks like 3 people on a desert island. Like, this even looks like maybe a fire they're trying to... Yeah, this one's tricky. I might spend some time with this. See if someone helps me when I think about it. Okay. I mean, I feel like it's not, like, I've never been to the Bahamas, but I get the sense that it's a little bit more tropical than this. But I would also make that claim about Guantanamo Bay. I feel like I can't cheat and look it up. Yeah, I'm eliminating these 2. Also eliminating this one. I mean, it has to be the Bahamas, right? Okay, I'm gonna see. Yeah, Okay, I overthought it. Three people, Cuban nationals whose boat hit a storm, survived on an island for 33 days on a diet of coconut, conches, and rats. I just recently read about like how rats are really interesting on uninhabited islands. So I wonder if that's like related. I don't think they're like native. I don't know. The Coast Guard said they had no reported injuries. That's really cool. I mean, not great for them, obviously, but like I feel like desert island stories are pretty rare nowadays. So I don't know. I can't wait to read the books about it. I'm glad they're all fine. 78% of people got this right. So either, yeah, it was totally in the news and I just didn't catch it because I haven't been paying attention this week, or they agreed with me that this is like such a stereotypical desert island picture. Moving on. What rule in its labor code, the Code du Travail, did France change this week? Employees can no longer greet coworkers with a kiss on a cheek. Employees will be allowed to eat lunch at their desks. Employees aren't allowed to play American music at work. Employees are now required to stay 6 feet away from each other at all times. Employees are no longer allowed to speak anything other than French when conducting official business. So the question is, what did it change? I feel like that's a tricky question because like it doesn't say implement, add, all these things. But I guess that's kind of the point because some of these are like things you think would obviously change, like get retracted, while others seem like they'd be implemented. I mean, I feel like this one is too like in the moment to be applied to its labor code. Obviously, I don't think it's this one. I don't think it's French, but there has been like some weird like anti-immigration stuff happening in France, and is that like possibly a response? I doubt it. That's like pretty dramatic. This one seems silly too. I mean, I wonder if it's this. Oh, no. Okay, so it was the silly one. That is really interesting. So the country's labor ministry said it would allow employees to eat lunch at their desks in order to contain the virus's spread. The practice used to be forbidden in the country's 3,000-page labor code. That's super interesting. I wonder if like the original, like why the original rule was there. Was that like a, like to avoid people overworking, or you know, like a labor union kind of thing, and like having a mandatory lunch break, or what? But yeah, I did not catch this in the news today. I'm not doing well this week, folks. 63% of people got that right. I mean, I guess I probably could have, if I kept going, figured that one out. Okay, I feel like this one should really, I was gonna say this should link to the stories, and it totally does. Okay, that's really interesting. Oh boy, sports one. Home runs have been booming in Major League Baseball. What did the league announce it would do to address the situation? I don't understand. Have been booming. So they've been happening more, but they need to address it. The options are change the composition of baseballs to make them lighter and less bouncy. Change a rule so that any ball that hits a foul pole is now in fact a foul. Move the pitcher's mound 6 inches closer to home plate. Raise most infield fences between 5 and 10. These all sound so ridiculous. I mean, isn't that just a thing with sports that like everyone like we're slowly getting much better at sports because of like learning about health and some people having more access to like train from an early age? And I wonder if like the MLB, like I wonder like is that something you need to address? I mean, I'm not an expert on this, but is that something you need to address, or is that just like exciting? I don't know. I feel like it's not changing the composition of baseballs. That would be like so hard to implement compared to like raising the outfield fences that would just be at the stadiums. I feel like the second option is also fairly plausible. The third option sounds kind of ridiculous too. Because wouldn't a closer pitch... Well, that would just, like, throw off everything, right? Like, it would take all the batters so long to relearn the timing of that. So I'm going with 2 or 4. And I feel like doubling the size is also pretty dramatic. Okay, so I think it's this one. It was the thing I think is the most ridiculous thing. Like, okay. The MLB informed its 30 teams that it will be making changes to its baseballs for the 2021 season. The new balls will have slightly reduced weight and slightly decreased bounciness, the latter of which could reduce home runs. What a story. Okay, so 33% of people got that right. I'm not the only one that thought that was a very ridiculous answer. I mean, that just like changed, like, will that trickle down to like college and high school levels? Does anyone watch sports? Can anyone tell me? No. Okay. Last summer, Quaker Oats announced it was changing the name of one of its longtime brands. This week, the company introduced the new name Pearl Milling Company. What was the previous name? Aunt Jemima? That has nothing to do with milling. But that was a big thing that's been addressed lately. Captain Crunch, Eskimo Pie, Fritos Corn Chips, Quaker Oats Oatmeal. Okay, so I'm confused because these are all like very specific brands. Like this is like syrup. This is like cereal, like a specific kind of cereal. And I thought the Eskimo pies were like in the Twinkies family. And then Fritos corn chips are like chips. Oatmeal is oatmeal. So I feel like the only plot like milling company to replace one of these brands is really interesting because like milling company would imply like a flour company and not like a specific food item, right? Yeah, Harper thinks it has to be the oatmeal. I agree because that's the only one that makes sense. What? Okay. So I guess the Aunt Jemima brand wasn't just syrup, like everyone but me thought. Or I guess I'm the only one who thought that. It's also the pancake brand. Okay, that's fair. That would make sense. I think if I realized that it was also like the batter, because then that does make sense of it being a flour company. Harper, we did this wrong. I did not know it was from St. Joe, though. That's pretty cool. And also makes sense why they... Okay, so that's really interesting. So they changed the racist name to a milling company that the brand originally came from. Okay, that makes sense. Dang. And here I thought it was just syrup. Last question. Stars are flocking to the world of podcasting. Which of these very famous people does not host or produce or star in his or her own podcast? Oh my God, I feel like everyone does. Okay. Britney Spears, right? She is the only one that like can't talk to the public right now. Like, I know Paris Hilton has one. Probably Michelle Obama has one. Rob Lowe sounds like exactly the kind of thing he would do. Meghan Markle is the other one that I'm considering maybe not. But she went to Northwestern, and it's a little, like, she's a genius, so, like, maybe that would make sense. She probably has a lot of worthwhile things to say. But Britney Spears is the one who doesn't, like, interact with the public. So I feel like it has to be... Oh, thank you, Miranda. Meghan Markle does have a podcast, says Miranda. So it has to be Britney Spears, because all she does is interact with Instagram. And that's what the whole thing with the Free Britney movement is about, is that, like, people are looking for codes in her Instagram, and if she had a podcast, I feel like that would kind of like eliminate some of the mystery or be easier to dismiss as oh, she asked, sorry, my phone is really cracked. I'm looking at the chat on my phone and the question mark is just below this like deep crevice that I put in my phone screen. I feel like Meghan Markle has to have a podcast. I think it's Britney Spears, because she only interacts with the world through Instagram, and the whole Free Britney movement would seem a lot more controversial if she was like also appearing on a podcast, right? Because then like Like, she would probably talk about it, right? Okay, I'm just gonna. Yep. Well, there are multiple podcasts devoted to Britney Spears. The pop star doesn't have one of her own. She's in the news for another reason, which is like such like a subtle tooting of their own horn because they're the ones that did the documentary that everyone's watching right now. Her effort to persuade a court to remove legal restrictions on her activities, right? It's like, I think more than that. Paris Hilton's recently announced she's starting a podcast. Okay, so I did horribly. I did 9% better. You did better than 9% of those who took the quiz. Oh my god, you guys. Last week I was in like the 70th percentile, and now I'm in the 9th. I didn't watch that. Beck, what is the Rachel Lindsay Chris Harrison interview? Oh, I just read about that one today. That's the one where she like toured like an antebellum house and he defended her, and now there's this whole thing, right? Can you educate me, please? Okay, that was brutal. Let's go back to a week that I paid more attention. So 2 weeks ago. Okay, this is all old news, so we should have had some like time to like ruminate on it. Which of the following did not happen in Dr. Fauci during the Trump administration? He was accused of inventing the virus. I'm sure someone said these things. He was accused of being a secret cabal with Bill Gates and George Soros. His family received death threats. He received a letter in the mail that contained a powder. That definitely happened. He was asked to resign on numerous occasions. Dang. Okay, wait. I need to catch up on this drama. He just told me to look it up. I mean, I can do that right now. If you want to pause on 2 weeks ago. Okay. Yeah, I heard about what happened with... Let's see if the streams fall. Is it this one? 2 days ago, so probably right.
Do you remember how your love story began?
I just sent flowers to my best friend for her birthday, so now I'm gonna get these ads.
What are your thoughts about Rachel Kirkconnell and the allegations attached to her?
A couple of things. First and foremost, I don't know. I haven't talked to Rachel about it. And this is, again, where we all need to have a little grace, a little understanding, a little compassion, because I've seen some stuff online. Again, this judge, jury, executioner thing, where people are just tearing this girl's life apart and diving into like her parents voting record and what it's unbelievably alarming to watch this. I haven't heard Rachel speak on this yet. And until I actually hear this woman have a chance to speak, who am I to say any of this? I saw a picture of her at a sorority party 5 years ago, and that's it. Like, boom, like, okay, well, this girl is in this book now, and she's now in this group. And I'm like, really? Okay, well, there goes.
The picture was from 2018 at an Old South antebellum party. So I think, when you
hold that under the lens.
It's not a good look.
No, it's not a good. Well, Rachel, is it a good look in 2018 or is it not a good look in 2021?
It's because not a good look ever, because she's celebrating the Old South. If I went to that party, what would I represent at that party?
I don't disagree with you. You're 100% right in 2021. That was not the case in 2018. Again, I'm not defending Rachel. I just know that, I don't know, 50 million people did that in 2018 between, it's like that was a type of party that a lot of people went to. And again, I'm not defending it. I didn't go to it. We are not looking under the same lens. And that is, again, the grace and the compassion, the understanding with this girl at, I don't know how old she would have been back then, have thought, historically, this mansion stood for this. Guys, it's not really that woke that we're here. We need to have the understanding and the compassion of this history and what this stood for and what these people who own this mansion.
Wait, so now he's turning it into like that it was woke of them to go there? Is that what's happening? Someone help me.
Stood for. My guess, these girls got dressed up and went to a party and had a great time. They were 18 years old. Now, does that make it okay? I don't know, Rachel, you tell me. But where is this lens we're holding up, and was that lens available, and were we all looking through it in 2018? I don't know. I don't have these answers.
I think that's the problem is we weren't, you're right, we weren't looking through those lenses, and we should have been. And just because it was a popular party,
wrong.
And just because it's a popular party, doesn't necessarily make it right. And you are right, and I believe you're right in the sense that, maybe there should be some, understanding of, like, not everybody knows everything, right? And I think that's what people are learning or learned in 2020 or started to learn. I think, though, with this situation, with Rachel, I think what's frustrating, and you said it yourself, you said she hasn't spoken out, you haven't heard from her, and there's nothing that contractually stops her from saying, hey, this isn't true. And I think if it were me and my name was being attached to something that wasn't true, I would be coming out and saying something. I would be, and I think that's what makes it fester a little bit.
Yeah, but it's a slippery slope. I mean, you know this, you're not going to please everybody, and you can't answer to everybody who wants to come and attack you. I mean, I saw something that said this person was a registered Republican, therefore they are this. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Therefore, they're registered Republican.
Like, how about we just take a step back and you are the problem. I know you don't think you're the problem, but now you are indeed the problem when you say this person voted for this person, therefore they are that. We have to be so careful when we start labeling people. It's just as bad as what that person did. And so, it's like, two wrongs don't make a right.
I can't mute things.
So is somebody gonna come get this white bed together, or I gotta do it? Oh, you know what? That's all. I got time today. So Chris Harrison said that in 2018, we did not yet possess the lens through which we can see America here in 2021. All right, and this on how we owe grace and forgiveness to Rachel Kirkendall. Let me tell you about why that is just a mess, okay? Let's talk about the fact that discourse on racism did not begin in 2021. It did not begin in 2020, 2018, 2016, 2017. Shit, it did not begin in 2013 when we first heard of Black Lives Matter. It did not begin in the 60s. It did not begin. We could argue that the discourse on racism, the lens through which we could see inequity in this society, we could argue that it's been available to us since the moment white folks came onto stolen land with stolen bodies and raped, killed, and pillaged their way into Black and brown communities using their labor for free to build the country that we have today. Right? The only difference between 2018 and 2021 is white people had the option to disengage, disconnect, and deny the presence of racism in their values, their belief systems, their social structures. The very country that we live in is built and runs on racism, not Duncan. Right? The only difference between 2018 and 2021 is that in 2020, we got hit with a corona lachey. She came in, she said, girl, go home, sit down, relax, and put your mask on because you ain't going anywhere for a minute. So all we could do was scroll on Instagram and watch TV and see Black and brown bodies dropping at unprecedented rates as if they hadn't already been doing that for years. Mike Brown was already murdered. Trayvon Martin had already been murdered. Tamir Rice had already been murdered. Bodum Jean got murdered in 2018 in his own house, okay, by a white woman who broke into his home, an off-duty police officer, and shot and killed him in cold blood because she thought she was in her own home. Sandra Bland was already murdered, right? Let's really think about the lens through which we could look at America in 2018 and say who was actively choosing not to see the reality and who didn't start looking at the reality for what it was in 2020 because they had no choice, because they were stuck at home. An Old South party was bad in 2018, Chris Harrison, just like it was bad in 2021, just like it was bad when they used those parties to lynch niggas in the 1800s. Right? There was a reason they were banned in 2016, ahead of having a president whose whole administration was built on white supremacy. Not because they were insensitive or weird or just not a good look, because they were racist. Right? You don't put on an antebellum Old South costume and say, oh wow, this is just so cute, like this is so pretty, oh my god, pass me that shot of 151 before we go over to the plantation, oh my god, look at that tree, look, it's a tire swing, I wonder what that rope used to be used for, I wonder what used to swing from these trees that we're posing under, right? People in 2018 were being killed over the Confederate flag. We were celebrating the year anniversary of the murder of Heather Heyer, 32-year-old white woman who was murdered protecting black bodies at a Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, right? By a white supremacist. A murderer. Yeah, I was right. Right, Matt James is the Bachelor because of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Nina Pop. Matt James is the Bachelor because Rachel Lindsay, the very person leading this conversation with you, was still dealing with the backlash of racism in 2018 from her season because white people weren't ready to see a black woman fall in love on national television, and y'all decided to perpetuate stereotypes and try and make her look angry and bitter, just like people who are probably watching this video thinking I'm angry and I'm riled up. I am mad. I am mad because why is the information that I have to ingest required of me to offer grace and kindness and forgiveness without correction, without accountability? Those are not mutually exclusive things. If you're going to have a white woman on national television talking about how she sees color and how she loves love and love is love, knowing that she's pursuing a relationship with a black man, and one of the leading causes of death for black men in America is police brutality. And this black man's very blackness is less important than his proximity to whiteness. If I'm going to, what is the obligation that I have as an audience member to just offer her a pass? Like, I'm not saying off with her head. I'm not saying that she is a product of her environment. She's a product of her parents' belief systems. If she's a Republican, that she's innately evil. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that she's done and has ties to some racist shit, right? And her posting a picture of a white police officer holding a little black boy is not going to rectify it. Her being quiet on social media is not going to rectify it. ABC putting a muzzle over her mouth until y'all can have the conversation on the Women Tell All is not going to rectify it on a season where you are trying to capitalize off of the concept of blackness in order to promote some sort of diverse, equity-based initiative and say you're offering everybody a chance. That's not it. Now I'm going to go outside and check to see if the gas light on my car is on, and maybe on the way I'll see or be able to find some of Chris Harrison's audacity. But I do want to leave us with a question. What is it that we, as co-conspirators of change, as black people who watch The Bachelor, as Latinx or Asian people, disenfranchised minorities, queer people, what do we owe this franchise that says it is not their responsibility to speak out on everything when the very thing they refuse to speak out on is something that is stepping on and hurting us? Right? Why does Chris Harrison get to go on national television and say we owe her time, patience, and forgiveness? Why do we owe Rachel Kirkconnell? What do we owe her? But an opportunity to do better, be better, make the correction. Say, hey, you know what? That was wrong. I had some weird views back then, and I am actively working to reallocate my power, my platform, my privilege to change that, Ooh. That's all we're asking for, is just a little accountability. And the more silence, the more anger is going to keep and continue boiling, because we got to watch her on TV every week. And we don't have to. We could stop. We absolutely could stop. That's not how things change. That's not how you shift structures of power. And what I did not feel like talking about today was Rachel Lindsay being gaslit by Chris Harrison on national television. I don't care how many shots of 151 they took at that Old South party. At the end of the day, bodies used to be swinging from them trees that they was posing under, and they knew that. White people.
Thank you for sharing that, Miranda. That was really well said. I mean, just like the whole audacity. Yeah, I think the word audacity is so important here, because I don't know. There's just like so much frustration I feel towards people like this. Also, like talking about cancel culture as if it's like the first time they're ever like being held accountable for anything they perpetuate in decades long, like reality show hosting. Where, sorry, my upstairs neighbor, like it sounds really sketchy, right? But like it sounds like he jumps on a trampoline for exactly 10 seconds and then stops. I don't like think it's like him having sex, because it's just so, it happens like once a day for 10 seconds. And then I hear him like walking around. So I don't know what it is, but it's right in my office, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, it's just like this idea that I think gaslighting is I know that there's been a lot of conversation of people like misusing that word and saying that it's like a buzzword that's kind of lost its meaning, but this is exactly what that is. This is a perfect example of gaslighting, because he's acting as if 3 years ago people weren't having these conversations all over social media. Like, yes, this year was different, but it absolutely happened in 2018. It absolutely happened in 2014 and in the 90s. And it's just like, he's old enough to like not have forgotten that. So it's really interesting. And the way he's like kind of like mansplaining that to man and white-splaining that to Rachel Lindsay is like very wild to me. Like as if she wasn't alive 3 years ago as like a black woman in this country as part of this rhetoric. Anyway, I think there's a lot of like weird things about like, yeah, this girl who's like, yeah, she's a teenager, whatever, it sucks. It's the same thing as like the Bon Appetit, oh, I forgot his name, but how he made like a Confederate cake in high school. Like, yes, he's 17-year-olds are dumb, but that's not really an excuse for engaging in rhetoric and a culture that actively puts marginalized people down in that way. So thank you should I watch the rest of the interview, or is it like long? What do we think, fam? Oh, Jacob, yeah, fair. It doesn't look like a crossword. Should I go back to the crossword? Am I overstepping? Is this like me becoming Chris Harrison now? No, this is great. Okay, I'll play more of it. You missed the first 4 minutes of it, but you can watch it later.
And when it comes to Rachel, I look at Hannah B and what she did. I look at people that have made mistakes. Again, I am not the woke police. There's plenty of people who will do that for us in this world right now. I don't know. Like, do you go tear all those places down and tear up the dirt and dig deep enough that it erases it? I don't know. When you see San Francisco erasing Lincoln and erasing Washington and erasing people because of what they stood for 180 years ago, I don't know. Is that right? Is it wrong? The woke police is out there, and this poor girl, Rachel, who has just been thrown to the lions.
I'm sorry. This is so messed up. Like, Rachel is a public person who chose to be on this show. Rachel Kirkconnell, I don't watch The Bachelorette. This is a huge disclaimer. I feel like one of you all should jump on this with me. But like, she's a public person who chose to compete in a reality show. She's the one who like put herself on the stage, and she's been thrown to the wolves as a victim because she's just being called out for something that happened. Like, I'm sure like Instagram is not very nice. Like, I can hear that, but also like that happens on a much larger scale to people who don't fit into like white supremacist sexist ideas of what a Bachelor contestant should look like anyway. And this time it's actually for something that she chose to do and not because, she doesn't have a certain kind of body or identity or skin color. So this is like really ironic that he would say, as someone who perpetuates a show where people are constantly being thrown to the wolves to their fan base for horrible reasons, the idea that like she's thrown to the wolves because she's just being held accountable for something that she did is like very ironic to me. Yeah, I heard that she put out a response. Should I watch this now, Beck, or should I should we watch the rest of this? Someone tell me how to navigate this controversy as fans of The Bachelor. I have to wait for the lag to speed up. Well, that could be better because then it's more concentrated instead of just having to watch him do this. Okay, great, let's do it. You're all gonna like briefly glimpse my embarrassing texts again, so watch out. Okay. Will we get another ad from backcountry.com?
Okay, Maya?
Oh no, we don't want that. Okay.
You kind of checked me, right? No need to mince words. He did check me. You checked me by saying, yo, given your family situation, you're the last one. My nigga, don't fuck with me. Like, don't.
I need some energy.
Wait, Beck, this is an hour long.
Yo, Thought Warriors.
I need some
What's up?
direction.
What's up?
It is I, Van Lathan.
And it's me, Rachel Lindsay.
Welcome to Higher Learning. Okay, so
Only watch the beginning. Beautiful.
we're going to dispense with pleasantries. We're going to jump right into this. Now, there's a couple of things on Higher Learning today that we're going to talk about. We're going to discuss some things. We got all the great topics and the fixins. What is that? You got a bag of chips there? What are you doing?
So come on. You're getting distracted. I need
like
some
getting
energy.
chuckles.
I need some energy from this
We need some
podcast.
energy. Yeah. But before we even talk about the rest of the things that are happening out there in the world, we have to talk about something that happened in our world. Now, as you guys are all aware that watch The Bachelor and follow the show, there's been a controversy there in Bachelor land for a while now with one of the Bachelor front runner ladies, Rachel, also named Rachel McKinnon.
I just want you to keep trying.
Kirkconnell. Oh, Rachel Kirkconnell. Starts with a K. Got a couple K's in it.
Starts with
Right. Rachel Kirkconnell. And she went to an antebellum home. And correct me if I'm wrong anytime here, Rach. She went to an antebellum home. There was a sorority party there back in 2018, right?
Correct.
And if you guys don't know what an antebellum home is, I am from South Louisiana. I do know what an antebellum home is. It is a plantation home where atrocities were committed against Black people. And there are a lot of people in Bachelor Nation and people in television world who think that it was inappropriate for her to have gone there and have thoughts about her going there. It's been kind of a controversy, you would say, in the show.
So it's not that she went to the home. And mind you, and so also this information came out after it was announced that she was a contestant. It was after she had completely filmed The Bachelor. So this information comes out. It's not that she went to an antebellum home. It's that she went to an Old South party. Old South.
Okay, so it's not the home. I'm being enlightened now. So it's not the fact that it was a home. It's a themed party.
Yeah, that's why when you said what you said, I was like, maybe he doesn't know the whole story.
Because to be honest with you, where I'm from, some of those homes have been made into bed and breakfasts, and I'm not saying that they should have, but people go to them like all the time. Like when I was a kid, elementary school, we toured one. My mom.
It's a very Southern thing.
Whatever. Go ahead.
Love Miss Crystal. Okay, so she went to a Kappa Alpha something, not Kappa Alpha Psi, Kappa Alpha something. Through these Old South parties, apparently that were banned as a whole nationally from the organization, but they decided to throw them anyway. And what it is, it's an Old South party where they celebrate and commemorate the good old days of the Old South. The women dress up like Scarlett O'Hara, very Gone with the Wind. The men dress up in suspenders. It's an honor and a privilege. Not everybody is invited to this party. It's very exclusive. And they celebrate in college. That, and a picture popped up with her dressed up in her Southern Belle attire attending one of these parties. That's just one thing.
All right, so before we move on, let's stay right there for a half second.
Okay.
Because that, celebrating the Old South, when you go to a party like that, you go to the antebellum home, you go whatever that's, you celebrate the Old South. There are traditions that go along with that. Like, you wouldn't celebrate Germany in 1941 without the accompanying atrocities that go along.
Thank you.
Like, you can't, there's part and parcel to celebrating the Old South, and going to a party like that is celebrating a time when there was slavery and degradation happening to Black people.
Yes.
So even if you have a different view of that, you're going to have to negotiate that with Black people or people who have a problem with it. You're going to have to say something. And she has not said anything about this to this point. Correct.
Right. So there are also other things with Rachel. It's not just this one thing. This is the latest, which has made things come to a head. There was a TikTok that was going around. There was all this information. I'm not sure what's true and what's not, of either Rachel doing things. One thing I can tell you that is factual is that she liked a picture with two of her friends posing in front of a Confederate flag. There are pictures of her appropriating other cultures, dressing up as Indians. I think there's something else. Native Americans.
Yeah.
And
to yourself.
Yeah, I know. I caught it though. But see, I caught it. I was wrong. This is how y'all do it. I was wrong in what I just said. I am sorry. I corrected myself and I will learn from it and do better. Stay with us now. What should have happened in the rest of the podcast as we continue? But that is something that she did that was problematic. Also, it's her friend group that has either said the N-word on Twitter, talked in African-American vernacular, stated how much they love Black people using Black emojis, and even posing with another Black male who was dressed as a slave for a Halloween party. So
I think it's not a problem in itself.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Jesus Christ.
So there's all these things that are coming out. So with the Old South picture is the last thing that came to a head. Yes, that was it. Were you gonna say something else? Okay.
So this has been, like we said, controversial in Bachelor Land. So this week on Extra, the show that my super talented co-host also hosts, it's a television show. Check the listings, Extra. Chris Harrison, the honcho television guy of The Bachelor. When I say honcho television guy, I mean he's the dude. You guys know Chris Harrison. He's the host of The Bachelor. You've seen him.
He's the face of the franchise.
Face of the franchise. He is the constant. He came on to Extra, and you and him had a discussion about this entire controversy. And I've never gotten more feedback from the listeners of this podcast about something that we should talk about in their opinion. I'm going to completely turn it over to you because I don't think anything needs to be set up. I don't think that I need to say anything else.
So, thank you, Van. So, when I brought Chris Harrison on to Extra, he was going to talk about last night's episode. Okay, brought him in on a Tuesday. He was going to talk about what happened on Monday. We did do that. But then I asked a question, saying something he said made me poke a little harder. So I phrased the question, what are your thoughts about the allegations against Rachel, the contestant on the show, the one we just talked about? And then he went off. And I want you guys to listen to some of the things he said.
You know, I saw a picture of her at a sorority party 5 years ago, and that's it. Like, boom, like, okay, well, this girl is in this book now, and she's now in this group. And I'm like, really? Okay, well, there goes.
The picture was from 2018 at an Old South antebellum party. So I think, you know, when you it's
when you
not,
hold that under the lens.
Look. It's not a good look.
No, it's not a good. Well, Rachel, is it a good look in 2018 or is it not a good look in 2021?
It's
because
not
there's
a
a big
good
difference.
look ever.
I don't disagree with you. You're 100% right in 2021. That was not the case in 2018. Again, I'm not defending Rachel. I just know that, I don't know, 50 million people did that in 2018. My guess, these girls got dressed up and went to a party and had a great time. They were 18 years old. Now, does that make it okay? I don't know, Rachel. You tell me. And when it comes to Rachel, I look at Hannah B and what she did. I look at people that have made mistakes. Again, I am not the woke police. There's plenty of people who will do that for us in this world right now. I don't know. Like, do you go tear all those places down and tear up the dirt and dig deep enough that it erases it? I don't know.
What are you
know,
talking
you
about?
San Francisco erasing Lincoln and erasing Washington and erasing people because of what they stood for 180 years ago. I don't know. Is that right? Is it wrong? The woke police is out there.
You seem to have an
this poor
opinion.
girl, Rachel, who has just been thrown to the lions. I don't know how you are equipped when you have never done this before to be woke enough, to be eloquent enough, to be ready to handle this.
All right, so I got a lot of feedback on this, and I just want to say I really appreciate for those who reached out to me, who supported me, who really had a problem with what was said. Then there were some people who said, why didn't I press harder? So I do want to address this. People of color are not given the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say that again. People of color are not given the benefit of the doubt. And it is a struggle being a Black woman on television, because I have seen it happen to me the other way. For me to be even, I have to stay even, Kill. I have to stay calm. I cannot react. I cannot show emotion. I cannot show my slip, as you would say in the South. And the reason is because once I do that, That is all people will see. I will be angry. I will be aggressive. You will not hear what I'm saying. You will not hear what the other person, Chris Harrison in this instance, was saying. You will only see the reaction. And when I saw how this interview was going, I said, I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to let this man talk. I'm going to hold it together. I'm going to poke just a little bit. But it was as if Chris Harrison woke up and said, you know what? I'm just going to be myself today. There was no PR on the call. There was nobody to stop him. Nobody to tell us to stop. Nobody to tell us to cut some things out. So we played the interview in its entirety on YouTube. Couldn't even play it on the screen. So for all those people who might have something to say about the way that I was reacting, I had to stay calm because I needed people to see and hear what was happening in that message or that interview. And I needed people to take that, listen to the things he said. He said things, and I think the thing that really bothered me the most, if I wanted to react so badly, and if you pay attention to that video, I'm moving my hands together, my foot is moving because I'm boiling inside. And the things that were boiling to me the most were the compassion and the grace and the space that Chris Harrison wanted to give to Rachel, but couldn't give it to this Rachel in the interview. Couldn't give it to the people that were offended by the things that she did. Where was the compassion for them? Couldn't give it to them. The other thing that really got to me was when he said, and I have this written down, the quote, "Who are you? Who is Rachel Lindsay? Who is Chris Harrison? Who are we? I mean, who the hell are you?" Basically saying, who are we to tell her when that she should apologize? Who are we to tell her that we're offended? Do you understand how problematic that is? What I wanted to shout in that conversation is, you're right, Chris Harrison, who are you? Who are you to say something because you aren't the person who's been offended by the very actions that she is affiliated with, by the things that she's done? Who is Rachel Lindsay? Rachel Lindsay is a Black woman, the very person who is affected by this Rachel Kirkconnell. So I have every right to speak out and say I'm offended. I have every right to say this is what she should do. And I have every right to demand the apology. And to add on top of that, he threw in Hannah Brown. Now, we all know how I feel about that situation. Not once, but twice. Said that we didn't give Hannah Brown the space. We didn't give her the grace that she needed. Y'all remember Hannah Brown said the N-word, right? Hannah Brown said the N-word. And then disappeared for 2 weeks before she formed together a written statement that disappeared on her story after 24 hours. But I'm supposed to have grace for that when I'm the one who's offended. And I don't even need to get into that because we've already talked about the weight of that word. So my biggest thing with Chris Harrison is he's apologized since then. And I definitely want to say that he did reach out to me. And we had a conversation, a short conversation, but we had a conversation. And he apologized, and I appreciate that. And then he did the statement. But I'm having a really, really hard time reasoning or really taking in and accepting this apology. And I'll tell you why. When I finished that interview with Chris Harrison, he had no problems with it. He was fine. He texted me after. He appreciated the conversation. He thought that, he was like, yeah, I'll probably get a little flack, but thought it was great that we could disagree, but do it in a civil way. It wasn't until the backlash came the next day. It wasn't until people start talking, people start demanding and calling for different things that he then apologized to me and then apologized publicly. So you gotta see, for me, I'm trying to reason, well, which one is it? Because to me, Tuesday was your truth and Wednesday is after the fact. Wednesday was a response to the backlash. During that whole conversation, he had the audacity to question me. During that conversation, he talked over me and at me. During that conversation, his privilege was on display. He never gave me room to talk, and he never gave me room to share my perspective. He wasn't trying to hear it. He was just trying to be heard. And that's because I felt like he had an agenda that he was trying to push. He was really trying to push that forward. He expressed everything that he said with passion and conviction. So for me, Tuesday is what it was. And I'm not saying that he can't be apologetic. I'm not saying that he can't learn and be better from it, like he said in his statement. but you'll have to give me some space, and you'll have to give me some compassion and some grace to take the time to really reason and accept that, because that was a lot. And I do want to say this too. Chris Harrison is the face of the franchise. People go to him for his opinion on what's going on within the franchise, for production, and what's happening with contestants. So if he's speaking out in an interview in this way to discuss things related to the Bachelor franchise, then what does that really say about the franchise? What does the franchise really represent and mean if this is your face, this is your spokesperson,
okay,
and this is what...
This goes on for a while, so I think we got the gist of it. Thank you for sharing. This was fun to learn about today. Yeah, wow, what a mess that he put himself in. Okay, I mean, like, should I do a crossword? I have like 30 minutes, maybe. We'll see. I did one news quiz before this came up, so oops, that's not what I want. I don't want to do 2 weeks ago. I'll do a quick maybe Monday crossword. We can all just ruminate on that. Okay, Mondays are the easiest, so it should go quicker. This is not a call with Chris Harrison that's coming. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not Chris Harrison. It's someone else. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So number 1 across, TV host actress Jada Pinkett Smith. That one's easy. The 5 weekdays for short. Would that be MTWTF? I don't know. We'll see. I'm Chairman Mao. I think it's spelled like this. I might be wrong about that. The snake. I'm just going random. Let's see how many of these I can just get. The snake in Anthony and Cleopatra is an asp. That's my Patronus, according to Pottermore. I think this is J'adore, because that's like the most obvious verb that you would put that way for a perfume. I'm like still coming down from that. That was really interesting. Thank you for sharing. Oh my God, this Monday is so much easier than last week. Judy, are you watching? Miranda, I was like struggling last week. These are so much easier. Okay. Winnie the Pooh. We're all familiar. Ooh, what are these circles? It'll come up eventually. Okay. Deliverer of a noted speech upon the death of Martin Luther King Jr. In brief. I don't know what that one is. February 29th. Is that leap year? Or is that leap day? Would you call it that? That doesn't seem likely. Dog in Oz is Toto. Yeah. Monster slain by Perseus, I believe, is a minute. Ooh. No, it's not that. I take it back. It could be a Hydra. I'm thinking of Greek monsters. Record label co-founded by Jay-Z. That's not... Tidal is a streaming platform that he did. I don't know if I know the record label. I bet Pat would know that. Our music buff. Celestial Bodies, Stars. Oh no, Suns. We'll see. What's this? What do we got here? This seems unlikely, right? And so does this. Okay, we'll see. Oh, well, what's this? What's left in a fireplace? Ash. So we know that Ash is right. Antonyms. I don't think it's suns. I'm gonna take it out. Okay. You did it. Good job. Yeah, let's say that. 5 down. Star Trek Dr. McCoy. Come on. Laura Croft in film, Tomb Raider. And in video game, right? Wasn't that where that started? Musical artist from the block, it's J-Lo. And then a lyra, right? Because that's also a name for a harp. Okay. Like the newest gadgetry informally. I don't know what that is. I want to say it's like mint conditioner, like one who's habitually afraid, a coward. Musical key with 3 flats, C minor. Yeah, World War I. Light browns, tans, foam, froth. Noted sex therapist. I don't know. So it is C minor. We got that one. Wandered off. I don't know what it is. Annual Science Fiction Awards. That's, I don't know. I want to say Hugo's, but that's definitely not science fiction. It's just not. Values, I have no idea. No longer employed, abbreviated. I want to say fired, but I don't know what's the abbreviation to be. What else do I know here? Banned, pollutant, and brief. Oh God, that's the one that put the hole in the ozone. Can't tell you what it's called. City northwest of Detroit. So Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. I feel like it has to be Minnesota City. It's too short for St. Paul. Northwest. Could it be? It's a short one. It's not Toronto or Montreal. Definitely not Milwaukee. Am I not thinking northwest enough? But no, it's mostly so. I don't even really know where Detroit is, and I can't do it. Acquired lots of, as in money. You could say earned. Acquired lots of, and not just acquired, but lots of. Made bank, probably not. Messenger bird in Harry Potter books is Hedwig or owl. Corporation VIP CEO. Naturally belong, fit in. They may be hard to untie. Shoes? Knots. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. JFK delivered a noted speech upon the death. That makes sense because he was the president. Times before Eve's in ads. So that'd be like the time before Christmas Eve. I don't know. Nincompoop. It's like an idiot. Dimwit. Okay, here we go. I know this one. At Last Singers. Etta James. Question. Why? I don't know this one. Does anyone know? No one's with me anymore. Layer of soil that never thaws is permafrost. In the tundra, I know my geography ones, besides the city, northwest of Detroit, apparently. Queens neighborhood. I don't know that at all. Okay, I shouldn't have bragged about geography. It got me. Okay, this must be high tech. I don't think anyone says it like that informally. Do people say that? Lead into stat. thermostat. Okay, so Aster, neighborhood, narrow inlets, Rhea, times, oh my God, I don't know. Okay. I feel like I don't know this one, so I can't do that. Okay. Bicycle built for two, tandem, tiny bites. I'm picturing in SpongeBob with Squidward, like with the Krabby Patty. Are you visioning what I'm talking about? It's like deeply ingrained into my brain folds. Shun, abhor, maybe? Without further ado, so not that. Satan's doings, evil. Avoid. Shun is avoid, okay. Liz's best friend in 30 Rock. Don't know. Center of the face. Okay, I don't think I have this right. I don't think evil is right. Right? Because this is nose. So, oh, it's because I spelled avoid wrong. This one's wrong. This has to be wrong. It says Jenna is the best friend in 30 Rock. Oh, nice job instead of good job. Okay. Then this one is completely confused. No idea. Okay. Discombobulated? Is that possibly what it is? Yeah, it is. I don't like that. I don't think that's a real word. Celestial bodies, orbs. Okay, horse whisper, e.g. I don't really know what e.g. means. Potato, this is tapas because it's Spanish. Times before eves and ads, and the middle letters are FT. Acquired, raked in. That's good. Okay. What do we got here? Twit. Okay. Is it St. Anne's Bay? I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense there. Loosen up, or a hint to the puzzle's circled letters. Braid, bob, afros, let your hair down. This cannot be right. But who else could it be? Okay, wrong way. But like fit in makes sense, not make sense. Is it something weird where there's like a reason why it's a J? Sometimes it happens. Yes, please help me if you, I do have a bit of a lag, so it might not be immediate, but I would love hints, please. Thank you. Or just answers. Relative of a steam bath. Okay. Banned, pollutant, and brief. Oh, it's like right there. And it was in Hairspray, right? Sauna. Uh-oh. Puzzling old man is about to like destroy this puzzle with me, which I'm grateful for. Okay. That makes sense. Sauna. Okay. Tiny bite. Is that possibly right? Okay. We'll put it in for now. City northwest of Detroit. Something has to be wrong because I don't know of a city. So tandem is definitely right. I think discombobulated is right. So you can't see the bottom corner. Oh, it's me. I'm in the way here. I don't know. This will make it better or worse. Yeah, that's better. Okay. I have to wait for that to update before I see how well I did that. Okay. Ban pollutant. I'm gonna say it's orbs. Antonyms. Opposite. That has two P's though. Would they just not use that? Okay, we'll see. This would make sense with orbs too. Oh wait, what's this? Okay. I think this must be, I think it is PVC. I think you're right. And then that would make ops. It's not ops, it's ops. Okay. The abbreviations are always one that I feel like people don't use colloquially, so then it's confusing. And then celestial bodies must be orbs. And then this is record label founded by Jay-Z. I don't know anything with that. I know the streaming platform is Tidal. Okay, I'll keep going. Vietnam's land. I don't even know the word. Venetian? Is it Venetian's land? Is that how you pronounce that? Okay, I'll keep going. Here says, when you look at the dark side, careful you must be. That would be Yoda. You can tell because of the opposite sound and structure, right? And then this one must be leap day. Because it makes sense. Country. If any of my Not Loud people are watching this, that's a debate we like to have. I'm assuming it's hot country, which is, I don't know, that doesn't sound right. And I'm embarrassing myself. I can't do that. Educational streams, I don't know enough about country to answer that question. Cry to a tour reader. I don't know what that one is either. Okay. Unhappy, sad. Okay. I still don't. It must be like not a big city. You know how a lot of things are called cities that are not large cities. Bullfighter Olay. Where was this one? Oh, right. Okay, that makes sense. Now I know what that word is. I picture it in like Looney Tunes cartoons, but I don't think I've ever seen that like in real life. So this is Medusa. Now that we've gotten our clues. Tirades or rants, like what we just did about The Bachelor a few minutes ago. Music genre for Billie Eilish. Is it emo pop? Oh, wait, where was that one? I think you're right. Oh no, I lost it. Oh, right here. Yes, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Alt country. Okay. I don't think I know an example of that. Okay, octagonal street sign is stop. In the past. Okay, oh, what's this one? Wandered off. 44 cross is wasp. I know, I wish I could like, I mean, I guess my face doesn't really matter. But I wish I could stretch this so you could see all the clues at once. I need to figure out my screen better, huh? This is the Tin Man. Wasn't that a Rush song? Is it Rush that wrote the song about the Tin Man? 33 RPM in seconds. I don't know. Constitutional proposal. Strayed is wandered off. I like that book, of course. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, Puzzling Old Man. Oh, do you have the annual science fiction awards? I want to say it's the Hugos, but who is it named after? Because I'm thinking of Victor Hugo, and he didn't do science fiction, but I think it must be the Hugos. Okay. What do we have here? It doesn't look good. Oh, Ruth makes sense. I haven't heard of this person. Do I know this one? What's very? What do we have here? Oh, so. Okay. High figure on a tarot deck. Priestess? Yes. Okay. Beach composition is sand. Hugos are right. Okay. And then LPs, vinyl records. Oh, that's good. Okay. I like that. Okay. Ballyhoos. I don't know that one. Actor. It must be like Ali or Eli. Yeah. Okay. Question, ask, and ask. Right? I still don't know. In ads. Times before Eves. Eves and ads. I can't even say that clue. Okay, what's this one? Do I know this one? Horse, Whisper, Tamer. And then this one is Flint. Of course, Flint, Michigan. I wasn't even thinking like in Michigan. Okay. And then the record label is Rockefeller. I've never heard of that, but that's a great name. Okay. Astor. I don't know this. Okay, here we go. We got AFS for afternoons. Oh, of course. What does it mean? What does ads mean? It's not the same thing they use for abbreviation. I don't know. Narrow Inlet, it's Ria, like I thought. So this is Astoria. Yes, I've definitely heard of that. And then this one must be, oh, we have the last one. Okay, let's see. You get to be the one to give me the answer to the last one. Feels exciting. Oh no. Okay, wait. What could I have gotten wrong? Okay, I don't know this one. Away from the wind at sea. In the past is a go. Where's that one? Is that the one maybe I did wrong? This one is still weird. I don't know if you can help me with this one. Let your hair down, right? Do I just, oh my God, okay. Okay, great, that makes sense. Okay, I think that's everything. I streamed for longer than I thought I would. Thank you for joining me, Puzzling Old Man and Night Lab folks. I'll probably do this again next Friday. And I hope you join me again. This is really helpful. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put us on our, I am not very good at the transition, so because I only have one screen, so pardon this while I just, end scene. Woo! Okay.